Hello, um, I'm streaming, hopefully. Be a bit blurry, but oh well. As it says in the description, this is a stream explanation, not a video, because it would take way too long to upload, because this will be a long stream video thing, I guess. I'm gonna turn off chat. So yeah, this door, I made it with, just disabled chat. Okay, I don't expect this to be good, because I can't cut it or anything. And I'm a bit unprepared. So this is the door. I made it with bloxxdev G6, as it says in the description. I wasn't there when bloxxdev helped because I joined after the top was made, and these two made the top, and then me and G6 made the bottom, as it also says in the description. So yeah, top was really hard. Also, I fit a house in it. Can't open the chest. So this is the door. It's decent, I guess. Is 3320 blocks, I think. I'll have to check that though. It's not very fast, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's a viewer. Oh no. Of course it's you. Anyway, this is it. This is a bit more clearer. That has barriers. That's the bottom setup, and that's dropper things. So I'm not explaining the top because I have no clue how it works. So yeah. This is it. Kind of already showed it. I won't show the top really. If you want a top explanation, G6 has a channel where he said he'll do an explanation. I don't know when, but you know, he might. So yeah. A few things to note, I guess, is this block here has to be transparent, so you can use a stair if you're using quartz and it looks the same, because otherwise this torch will burn out, which is bad. I have no clue how to fix it because I did try, but there's barely any space, and yeah. So this is the bottom. I made it barriers so you can see. So it's a quad, 2 storage. Cyan is like storage circuits. It's up until the tape. Magenta is tape. Blue is post tape, and then brown is post the big dropper loop. And it's got some horrible entities. But yeah. So let's start with the red because I also helped with that. Not this bit. That's top stuff, but the way we power the bottom is through here. So we need a lot of delay. So we have torch here, so the lever is the different state than the door, which is annoying. So the lever's on when it's open. Yeah, so it goes into dust, goes into a 4-tick, another 4-tick going into this piston, with 2 4-ticks going into the start of the bottom. And then this piston here is just so the closing is a bit faster, so this gets powered by this instead of having to wait for this, but on the opening you have to wait for that because it needs to wait for the top to do stuff before powering. And then this thing is just a dual edge monostable, so you see the torch flashes like that. So that just means we get a 1-tick pulse on the opening and the closing, which goes straight into the storage through this slab, and I'm going to explain here because no barriers. It goes into the slab. Actually, I should probably explain that first. This is the setup, so inputs, the layout plus inputs plus a few things. So this, if you're wondering, just so it only powers the storage and not this other bit. So basically, there's just a row of levers. Oh, G6 is in the chat. Hi. Don't know if you can hear me. Tell me if you can't hear. Also, I need to like tab out, so there'll be a bit of black if I'm going to read chat. So this thingy-majig. Oh, there's barriers here. Basically, whenever you power the storage, it goes in and powers that. So you can see it like that. Another thing I'm going to do is that, so you can see a bit better. So based on the closing, on the closing you do something, on the opening you do the same thing, but then you add a bit on the end. So the first bit happens on the opening and the closing, and that is this. So you power this top storage, bottom storage, top storage again, which I think is what we need, yeah. And then you power this bottom line, which is the bottom, so you can unpower it via this repeater just because it's easier. And this is directly linked into here, so whenever you one tick that or any ticket, this gets two ticked or longer. And then these things basically power this again, so whenever you power that, this powers twice. Yeah. So, and then the reason why this isn't a block is we need a bit of extra delay. Just for something. I don't know what. I forgot. But anyway. And the reason why this doesn't clock is this is one item, so one signal strength, so it doesn't come back to there. So as you can see, it does that with delay. And then, but you think the second pulse is useless, but it's not, because after the first pulse, so this powers, and then we power the storage like that. With a one tick, we use this thing. So if you two tick a piston, so this is two tick, into a comparator, the comparator detects it, even though it's not a two tick, because it shortens it and it's 1.5 tick, I think, but it still spits out the blocks. So yeah, so that happens. That happens on the closing anyway, it doesn't do anything, and then this as again. So that's the closing done, so the floor will be there. And then the top pushes down like that until it's this state, and then you do the exact same moves again. So you power that, power that, power that. That's an extra move, doesn't really do anything. You power that. So the first thing goes, which pushes it up to there, and we one tick that. And then the second pulse goes, and now we're ready for the tape, which is the magenta circuit. So I will show. So that's the cyan circuit that does all that. So I'll show that now. So this is a slab, so we can power this and it doesn't go into the whole circuit. This is a furnace for later. So, and that's a thingy, so it doesn't power this. Redirecting. So the dust goes into here, powers that, which I said was first move, and then next we need to power that, which we power using these two repeaters. And then it also goes into two more repeaters, which powers this again. So that does the storage. Now if you remember, we need to power this thing next, which comes down, so the dust goes down here, 4 tick, monostable, 1 tick, which if you can see goes into here, which does that. And then this monostable also goes into a 2 tick, and 2 more repeaters going into this, which 1 ticks the storage like I said it does, because pistons take longer to extend than retract, so this is shortened to a 1.5 tick as I said. So that powers then, and then can't really see because of all the other stuff, but this then powers again, doing the tape. So I don't really know how well I can show that. I'll go to free cam. I'll do it here. So the storage powers, you can kind of see it here or there. So yeah, and that one powered again. So then we power the same circuit again, which does the up to the tape and then off to the tape. We'll go into that next. This explanation is going quick. So the top pushes down, like I said, delay, and then we get the tape, and then the tape powers straight after. So the tape is the magenta circuit, top finishes and all that. So the tape is just a pretty standard tape. This bit's a bit different. Oh yeah, I had a notebook. So this bit's a bit different because it's red bit. So I guess I can build the tape here. This was the one bit I didn't really plan out. So we have a redstone block there, and then the pistons push it around. Yeah, lots of delay. Sorry if I don't read chat. Why are you watching anyway? You built it with me, you know how it works, I think. So, tape, or just build a bit more of the layout. Yeah. That's a slab for later. So that's this side, so whenever a block gets put, ignore that. Whenever a block gets put there, we need another torch. It gets spat out unless it's a redstone block, so yeah. If it's a redstone block, it redirects, doesn't power it. Then for this one, we have a block here. I think that's it. So now whenever you put block there, that powers this and does its thing. And then over on this side, I'm not 100% sure, but we have a locking repeater comparator furnace with, well, it doesn't have a stack. You just need one. Okay. Yeah, ignore that, me being picky. So, get the furnace, power that, put the furnace there, put an item inside, and that should be locked. So, then that goes down there, powers that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. On a slab or another circuit. Yeah. That goes into a 2-tick, plus like that, so whenever you do that, it does that. So it means now if you power this piston, it cycles round the whole way, and then stops at the redstone block. Then this torch is here, which retracts that. So, and that stays on because this is only a short flicker. And then when the redstone block comes along, this switches off, doing the first move post tape, like that. And then the first tape circuit is the blue circuit. So yeah, this is a torch, all that. So the second move is to retract these blocks into storage. So this tape, the tape goes, we've got that. So now we need to retract it into storage, and the way we do that is with this piston here, which is locational. So in some locations this will stay off when the tape's running, and some locations it will spam a bit. But either way it works, so it's fine. So that has a cauldron on it, which this comparator detects with some delay, going into a monostable, dust going through here. and then that also powers this, but doesn't go down because it's a slab. It goes through there, which is very helpful. So that does the storage, and then this torch also powers this block here, and that's why this is a slab, so we can power this all we like and it won't power that. And that goes into another cauldron piston and another comparator into a kind of smart circuit. G6 thought it was smart. It's kind of cool. So this is a NOT gate, just not with a torch. So not, I guess. And then this circuit, I will build it here. Let's see if I can remember it. No, that's a comparator. And that goes into a monostable, which powers stuff. I'll just show it as a lamp. So when you track this, it just retracts, nothing happens because the tape's running. But then when you extend this, this goes through here, powering this, with the monostable. This is a comparator on subtract mode, which we have a monostable here, but a long one, not a one tick one, which retracts and pulses it again. So we get two. Oh yeah, this needs to be a spoon, or just non-stackable item. So it powers twice. Could be faster, but we needed a one tick really quick, so yeah. So that is slotted in right here. And basically when we power this, we need to, as soon as possible, power that, and then if you remember, goes in and powers this thing, which is still going, and that does that. So that's really helpful, so we get a free move out of this. And then the second, where is it? The second pulse tracks that, and then we just have a few things left to do. So that's the blue circuit, well nearly. So that's that. So don't know how well I can show that. So that is cyan. So we have cyan, magenta, and then it goes into the blue in a second. That retracts that and does that super quick, and then other stuff happens. So what the other stuff that happens is we need to one tick this, or two tick it. In this case we two tick it, just because it was easier than one ticking it. We do it in quite a complicated way. This is the start of the complicated redstone. So we one tick that, which retracts all that, and then what we need to do, power this for a bit of time. We do a 4 tick pulse, and then all you need to do is this fancy circuit. So this just double pulses it by 4 ticking this, and this is a 2 tick with enough delay. So what happens is this gets 2 ticked, and because that's this over here is a 2 tick, not a 1 tick. What it does is it does that, which might think a bit useless, but what we do is we do that, double pulse from there, and then that does that. So very useful, and that happens really fast. Like that. So yeah, so that's how we do that pulse. What we need to do is 2 tick that first before we do any of the brown circuit, and that we do using the first dropper thing of the door, well, apart from the top. So this thing over here, I have more open version. So basically what I didn't mention is how we power the tape in the first place, because I'm stupid. It's with this magenta thing. Because what we need to do is we need to fit a toggle, so on the closing it doesn't power the tape. Yeah. So what we do is we take an output from here, remember that one tick, that piston. So that just goes into more repeaters, one ticking this, and because when you unpower a dropper it does nothing, when you power it, it powers. So first time we pulse this one ticks this, retracts it in, does nothing. Second time we wanting this, spits it out, powers this, which has an item inside, goes in and starts the tape. But what that also does is power this dust, which was really annoying, but not really other way. There wasn't really another way to do this blue circuit easily. So that powers this once more, which doesn't really matter, because the tape's going and all that. Well, the tape isn't going. You know what I mean. So it doesn't matter that it powers this, but it powers this, which is the next circuit. So that means this gets powered by that, and then twice by this blue circuit. And that's how we get to powering this, because we barely got any space. So that means this needs to power, this powers 3 times the whole time, and then we need to get a 2 tick out of it. So the way I'll do that. So this dropper circuit thing, the rails is to update this dropper. There's an item in there. The first time you power it, the item goes from there to there through the hoppers. And the next time goes into here, next, and the final time it goes into these hoppers going back to here. There are a bunch of hoppers to make it more reliable and not needing a cart. So that goes back to the start. That happens, the first time you power it, nothing happens, then it switches on and off. It's like a 3-stage T-fit sort of thing. But you're like, that does not make a 2 tick. But this is where we're kind of smart. So the first time it powers from that redstone block, it does nothing, it just ignores it kind of, because it's not meant to do anything. Then the next time, I guess I can hook up this circuit to it, because it's specific timings. So we need this. So oh yeah, that's just to switch it on and off. So that does the double pulse sort of thing. The first time powers and ignores it, and the second time that powers twice, giving this kind of a long pulse. It was extended because it's a lamp. So yeah. So how we shorten it is with same sort of trick we had here, except there are 3 pistons. So that shortens the long pulse into a 2 tick. So we need 3 pistons. So we have 1, 2, 3. And that gives it a 2 tick. So yeah. So it should not be here, and then the other one. Let me power that. That does that, and it's a 2 tick, which is nice and handy. So that's how we do that, and that slots in right under there. Yeah. So that's how we get to there, and then what we need to do. So we there, done that, and we have powered that. So we're here, and what we need to do is long pulse this. Now this is a really complicated bit, which you might not get unless you're good with hoppers and droppers. And also has 2 annoying, well, 1 annoying cart and an armor stand, which isn't that bad. So, getting so many alarms. So what we do is we need an output from this thing here, and we need it to output over where we can use it properly, which is this comparator. So what we use is a gigantic dropper loop. Well, gigantic for my standards. So this is basically the brown circuit now. This is a bit I kind of did mostly. And what it does is, you might have seen this flicker a bunch. That is in the wrong spot now. So basically, in the door, this bottom input gets powered 4 times, once on the close and 3 times on the opening. So it powers once on the closing, so that's once, and then it powers on the opening before the tape, and then powers just with this circuit now, which is when we want the output, and then it powers once more for that circuit there, if you remember. So what we need to do is have a thing where the 3rd time out of 4 this powers. If you power this 4 times, the 3rd time would power this. So we need this annoying cart to make it compact, otherwise the comparator would have to go all the way around there, which is just annoying. So this is also where the door starts to become 1.13 plus or something. So we have version 12 observers because we need no block up data. So we need it again there. So let me just show it. So 1st time, nothing happens. 2nd time, nothing happens. 3rd time, that powers. And 4th time, nothing happens, and then it is reset back into this dropper here. So this would take a bunch of explaining to do. So the 1st time you power, so every time you power, this dropper gets powered, that dropper gets powered, that does, and that does. These happen at the same time. That's why we need this hopper in between, so the item won't skip through because delay between there. And then hopper's going into here. This is facing up, going into the minecart, which is clipped into the hopper and the comparator. I don't really know how it works. Which goes into this with an output, which goes back to the start. So all of those gets powered every time you power this. So these two happen at the same time, and then these two happen after. But it doesn't really matter that it's after because there's so much hopper delay here, I think. I don't really know. So the item starts here. Don't use observers, even though it's an observerless door. Power that. Ends up here. You power it again. So this is the pre-tape on the opening. Ends up here. And then finally ends up through this hopper into here. Then the last one goes all the way through here and ends up there. And then I'm gonna show you how this works if you're trying to build the door from screenshots or something. Might be annoying. Don't know why you would, because it's not the best door in the world. You can always make a normal full 6x6. So yeah. So let's get rid of that. So another thing to account is you need a repeater there. So don't know if that's possible in the method I'm going to show, but I'm going to try. So you'll need soul sand. You'll need soul sand and some slabs, rails, and minecart with chest. So you just put the minecart in there, break the rails, push it up with soul sand, and it lands there. Don't know if you need the slab, but it works. And then that's facing up with a comparator. I forgot the repeater. We'll do the same thing with a repeater then. I think it would work. If it doesn't, I don't know how G6 did it, but yeah. So whenever you put that in there, power it, ends up in there, giving a pulse there. This is a dropper, not a hopper, because if it was a hopper, this wouldn't detect anything. So that's how we get the input there. How long has this stream been going? Who knows? So yeah, and it's also clipped into another block, which isn't very difficult. So, and that gets this output, but we still need to long pulse this, so it does that. And the way we do that is with an armor stand and some pistons and stuff. So this goes into a block, a sticky piston, and the note block updates it. The reason why we can't have a normal piston there, because we need a block to be there for this comparator and stuff. So if you think that wouldn't work, it does. Makes a noise which is annoying, but oh well. Then to place the armor stand, just need to 0 tick it in with a plate. And what that will do is push the armor stand up. I'll power it, and that is a long pulse from the hopper thing, 4.5 tick, I think. Where it shortens to a 3.5 tick, but that doesn't really matter because armor stands take different amounts of time to full, so that's why we have a bunch of delay here. That goes into a 2 tick, which powers that. Then the final stretch is this circuit here, which I think is pretty cool. So this goes up, and that's what this furnace is for. So that's just got an item in it, and that happens. So the note block is multi-purpose, which is cool. Because we needed tons of delay, and that was really the only way to get it. That goes into a 4 tick and a 4 tick. Those can be shorter, maybe, but I'm not really sure because this takes a while to full sometimes. And that goes through there, and that's why you need a repeater with the minecart. That goes into a monostable because, as we realised, this can be a 3 tick, not a 2 tick. The demo was a 2 tick because the minimum is 2 tick, but in our door we used a 3 tick because we could, and it was just a bit of extra delay. So monostable goes into a 3 tick, goes into this block which powers that, which doesn't really do anything, and another 3 tick, and it powers this dust which is raised one, so we can power it. That's why that's a slab, so it can go down. 3 ticks this line and does all that, and then at the same time this dust here powers this, which activates this burnout, which you can see like that, and that's how we get the double pulse. Because this is on, that's off, and it's soft powering, so this doesn't get powered, but that turns off for a short amount of time. Well, it does, which burns out twice, which is the double pulse we need. So basically a different version of that. So as you can see, it does that. Double pulses at the perfect time. Oh, that's why we needed it to be a 3 tick pulse here. Which powers that with the double pulse, and then that is the whole bottom done. I think this was way quicker than I thought it would be. So I can show you. Can't really show in slow-mo because it's a stream on a server, but so sine circuit from the start goes into the magenta tape, and then the blue circuit eventually, brown circuit, and that does the whole thing, and then the item gets reset there and puts back there. So that is it. Pretty cool, I think. Aha, this side. This was a bit of a pain. But yeah. So how we do the side pistons is with a slider, because it's obvious and yeah, it's just easier. So this bottom is multi-purpose as a slider which pushes it up, and when it gets pushed up powers the side pistons. Now we need to push it down eventually, so that gets pushed down by the refire off the top, which does not power on the closing at all, and we just have a bunch of delay like that going into here, and no blocks just to update. That's how we do that, so guess I can show. So that powers what do you think happened? Right, who cares? We'll do it on this door. So as you see, this power is pushing it up like that. Then this will power again on the opening, but this happens after, so yeah. So this powers, and then the top pushes down, and that won't power again. This powers a bit extra, but that doesn't really matter. And then the 6x6 bottom finishes. That gets pushed up, and that does all of that. And that's the door done, and not much else to say. If you want to see this, I might get rid of it, I don't know. My fourth plot on Synergy. It might be denied though, but then, oh well, go on G6's showcase plot or something. So yeah, G6 said he will make a explanation to the whole door. Maybe not the bottom now I've done this, but the top probably. And yeah, that's all I've got to show you, so bye. Now I can put my render distance up again. Yay. Oh gosh, Beefy is here. What has he said? That's a lot of questions. Hi. It is observerless. Surprised you couldn't tell. I use a mod F3 plus N to switch game modes, and then use server utilities by thingamajig game for you. And then the resource pack, don't know where you can find it, but it is 1.20 OCD pack modified by Reds XD, who is a fellow Redstoner. It's Sydney's 32x but updated. So yeah. You can find it on Discord somewhere. I don't know. He's in the Synergy Discord, I think. So you can ask there. Yeah. Bye, I guess. Let's hope this stream stays after I stop streaming. Yeah. Oh, I can make a 360 video. Oh, never mind, I can't. Bye. Ooh. Bye, I guess.